Hello, and welcome to this Cygwin video on calling Cygwin as an external program. What do I mean by that? Well, up until now, all the videos I've been creating, we've been working directly with the bash shell using the Minty terminal emulator and doing everything in there. In this video, we will be talking about how to call Cygwin from a different application. For example, I'm going to give away one of my examples, but the Windows Task Scheduler. So there are a few things to be aware of, and hopefully by the end of this video you will have an understanding. You will understand it as well as I do, which isn't saying much, but I have gotten it working in various situations, and I'm showing you the results of my learnings. So here we go. When you want to just work with a single tool, it works just like if calling any other Windows command line. You just type in the path, unless it's in your Windows path, and you type in the command name, you give it the arguments, and it'll run. So that's going to be our first demonstration. I have here, this is the syntax, more or less, and the example we're going to use is less. So less, of course, being a program that can view pages of a text file and go through it that way. So let's just quickly do this. I am going to, actually, just to make this faster, it might not be faster, I'm going to copy that and just paste it here. That's the location of my Cygwin install, and that's less, and then I'm going to provide the name of a text file, example TSV, and there you go, space, space, okay, at the end of the file. That's running less. Less is more. And that's the demo right there. That's as simple as it is. If you have spaces in the file name, then you will have to provide it in quoted, single quotes or double quotes. Up to you. Let's talk about using bash now. If all you needed to do was, if everything you needed to do could be handled with a single command, single tool, then by all means go for it. But if you have a whole bunch of things you want to do, you may want to run a bash shell and then run all of your commands in there. It's also easier to follow along, especially if you're piping things around. Then you don't have to worry about that. Everything is handled within bash, and it will work as you expect it to. So let's look at our basic syntax right over here. So we have our path to bash, and then these three arguments here, --login, -i, -c, and lastly, within quotation marks, the commands you want to execute. If you have things in there that need quoting, like file names with spaces, then you have a choice. You can use single quotes or you can use double quotes. And of course, because you have the entire command string for bash is in double quotes, then you will have to escape those double quotes. And you do so by doubling them up. So let's use an example right now. I have one right here, and actually I can't copy that as is, but let me just type it up quickly. So in this example, what we're going to do is we're going to set this variable fn to some file. I'll use the same file from before. And then after we have that, we're going to have this command, this subshell where we're getting the first line of it, and then we can do a grep on some pattern, and then finally we pipe everything to less. It's just an example to show how this kind of thing works. It's obviously you wouldn't do something like that. That's silly. But let's do it for the demonstration. So I'll copy everything I can up until that point and paste it over here. And then ctemp, again, my file is example.tsv. Semicolon, and then open that up, head -1. Now note here I have my double quotes twice, and there's the file name variable. Double quotes twice again, semicolon, grep, oh shoot, I can't remember what's in this file. Hold on, let me quickly look. Okay, I actually have it open here. Okay, let's just look for, okay, very, very fast, sure. So I'll search for the word very fast, double quotes, file name, double quotes, close that and pipe it to less, and finally the ending double quote, execute. And there you go. As we would expect, oh, that's very fast, all these lines, so, and then there's the header. Works exactly as I thought it would. And so, what am I seeing here? So, as we can see here, again, I just used a file name I provided as the Windows style of paths, and it worked fine. If we needed to, I could have used the Cygpath tool to have Cygwin translate that, and then we would not have to worry about whether the remaining commands could process that kind of path correctly. But anyway, if you need to use it, use it. Okay, so now that we're done that simple demo, let's move on to a more practical example. Again, Task Scheduler. I have some notes here about how to actually set it up, but as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. You do a create basic task, specify your triggers, and then when you say you start a program, you specify the bash shell, and then this part here, it's actually exactly the same as what we were just doing. So --login, -i, -c, and then all your commands inside quotation marks. So let me open up my task scheduler, okay. Okay, so click on Task Scheduler, create basic task, and my computer's a little slow. Do I have an example of something? I don't have it. Okay, alright, that's fine. Okay, so I'll just call this demo, create basic, okay, and I want to run it sure daily. Okay, let's see if I can do this quickly, and I can pause the video. So I'll set this for 2 minutes from now. I want it to start a program. And the program is, the program is, just copy, paste that. Oh, actually, paste that. And then here, add arguments optional. This is where we put in the rest of it. So just paste that in first, and then I'll figure out what I want to do. Okay, let's just say, echo hello, and then read, so it'll actually, the window will stay open. Next, demo, okay, all right, where did it go? So now it should be down here somewhere. Demo, there it is. Okay, okay, you know what? Maybe I can adjust, oh, no, 5:26 now. So we will just pause the video, and we'll come back when it's 5:27 for me. So about less than 10 seconds now, so it will be 5:27 for me, and we should see something pop up. We should see that pop up, and there it is. See, hello. Press enter and it'll disappear. Right? I didn't have an actual example, useful one, but I just wanted to show you how it's done. So now that you can see that, of course you can always edit it. Should be able to double click and edit, go back to actions, double click on that, and then replace this with something more useful, whatever it is you want to do. Okay, third example before we move on to something a little bit different is SAS. So if you can read SAS, if you are a SAS coder, programmer, here is an example, a data step that executes Cygwin, bash. And so how it works is, okay, these are all just comments, don't worry about that. First we set this option, XSYNC, so that it actually runs synchronously, as in it waits for the system call to complete before it moves on. This is the SAS command or function that you use to do system calls, and here you can see this is exactly what we've been doing before. So here there's bash, the login, -i, -c. Here's the whole command string surrounded by quotation marks, and here we have our doubled escaped quotation marks. And if you're actually reading this, you can see it doesn't actually do anything. But then, and then here we can. The fun thing is you can actually set the exit code. You can certainly test it anyway. You can make it fail, and then you can perform some actions, abort, something like that. Just wanted to show that I don't actually have SAS on my computer here. You should be able to, if you have SAS, you should be able to copy that and then run it, and that should work. If it doesn't, you can send me a message. I can try and help, maybe. Anyway, moving on. So, the last example I want to talk about is calling a bundled bash environment. So the demos we've been doing so far, working with an installed Cygwin. But recall from a previous video, we talked about how you can bundle up tools, individual tools, or even the bash shell, and then you can have everything in one directory, and you can package that off and send it to someone and they can run it. Since then, I have been playing with how to work with these and what I've come across is something called HTA, HTML application, and I've been playing with it as a graphical user interface for Cygwin. And I figured out how to bundle Cygwin with that and make it work. So let me, where is it? Let me open it up. Actually, let's talk about the syntax first before we get into those fun bits. So here it is. This is it. So that's first bit is the Windows command prompt, command shell. I can't actually remember what -s/s/c does, but this is how I got it to work. So you start with that, and then a single quotation mark, and then cd, which is change directory, just like in Unix. And then in quotation marks, the location of your bundle, and then the bin folder within that. Because recall again, your bundle you have to have your tools, and then in the parent directory, it also has to have a TMP directory. So that's why we have to have a larger bundle. Anyway, so you're going into there, and then so you do that, you cd, you change directory to that location, and then you run bash, and with just -c, and then wrapped again in quotation, double quotes, is the command string to execute. And the very first thing you do, especially at least if you want to execute a script, is you say export path equals : and that's the first command. And what that does is by saying : you specify a null directory name, which translates to the current directory. So that means that when the script runs, it will look in the current directory for any of the tools that you're calling, that you're making use of. So now that we have all that out of the way, let's open up that HTA so you can take a look. If I have a nicer example, I might go into more detail with this later. So with HTA, all you have to do is just double click it and it opens. So here's my demo. Oh, right. Oops, I forgot. So it uses JavaScript, and you can use libraries. So in this example, I'm using D3 to help out. But you can see it says here that the environment it's using is my installed directory. I forgot to I forgot to change that. So let's back out. Let me say moved. Oh, I can't because, yeah, I have that open. Let me close my terminal and try that again. Work. Okay, great. Okay, so, and HTML application as in it's basically a web page. So I can actually hit, it's pretty much running, I think, in an Internet Explorer engine. So I can just hit the F5 button and it'll refresh. And now you can see, so the way I set up this thing is, so if it cannot find Cygwin 64, then it looks inside its own directory for this bundle, and it did find it. So now I can, as an example, just pick, yeah, oh, so this demo, what it does is it just scans a folder that you select. So I'll hit the go button. All right, and then now it's showing on the screen what is actually going to happen. So in the JavaScript code, what it did was it read in this field, and then it built this whole command string around that. So you can see that's the C temp, that's that part right there. And you'll also notice that I don't have anything escaped. This is what I passed in. And then I process it by going in and double quoting, doubling the double quotes everywhere. And then the final step is to actually figure out which environment, if you're using the bundled environment, and it is. So in that case, then this is the full thing it's actually calling. So now I'll hit OK, and it will run. And there it is. Beautiful. That was it. So we've covered what we're doing, right? How to just call a single tool, how to run bash, so you can run a script or a bunch of commands or both. Calling the bundled environment. So again, that's with the cmd/s/c. Oh, an alternative. So when I was preparing to make this video, I was looking around to see what other people have done, and other people have figured out other ways. If you just Google how to run Cygwin commands from DOS, you'll get a bunch of hits, and one of them is this Stack Overflow thread question, which they're doing something funky with batch files. I did not want to try to figure out too much, especially because I already had a system. I already have something that works well for me. But anyway, all I'm getting at is there's many options here. So, well, at least two options. And this was the methods I showed. This is a bit of a longer video than normal, but we did talk about a bunch of things. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks, and see you next time. Bye now.